Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
I'm like, okay, well, has this always been a thing? Where have I been?
Hey everyone, welcome to the Smacked Raw podcast, the official recap show of WrestlingNewsWorld.com, and of course found here at YouTube.com/Smacked Raw podcast and everywhere else your podcast can be found. We're a wrestling recap show, man. We run them all down. Raw, SmackDown, AEW Dynamite. Shit, we even do side shows like Synergy, which, by the way, I got a little ad for later on the show. But I am your host, Kyle, the Kai Tai Show. Joining me is this a first time pairing between you guys?
No, we've done this a few times.
Dude, my memory is shit. It is the AJ Styles of podcasts and Sebastian, and of course, Mean Jelly Bean Production Zone, RN, man. How you guys doing tonight?
To be honest, I think me and RN's like the common pairing for me.
Right.
Out of like everybody else?
Yeah.
Shit, man. I'm telling you guys, like, I have a fucking terrible memory. I'm not.
I would say we've done
A few, man.
Yeah, it's been a lot. The last one, remember, he cut out, kept coming back in because his internet was a storm and his internet.
Right. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was a rough, like 3-week stretch. But no, I'm doing good today. I got tortured earlier and it's over. So
yeah, no, tell us about it. So you got Sebastian. You got this new job.
Yeah.
You are a quote unquote a corrections officer.
Yes.
For a prison.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, and so go ahead, talk us through like some of the orientation and training you've had to do.
Okay, today was real fun. It was my favorite day. So they had this big old tent, and to be honest, I should have known we was going to do this. I knew about the pepper spray, but I didn't really think about the mustard gas. But they had, it was like 4 at a time, and I was in the second group. First group went, and they came out coughing, and my dumb ass was like, "That's not the pepper spray. I wonder what's going on." And I walk in there talking like an idiot, okay, because my dumbass just walked in there and I was like, "Do I take my mask off?" And when I asked that, it made it 100 times worse. So I was basically dying. And they made you stay in there for like 20, 30 seconds. And if they caught you like trying to not breathe, they made you stay longer. They pretty much made it where you had to breathe at 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You went out, coughed for a good 10 minutes. Then you got in line for pepper spray, which that was a hell, which I knew was going to suck. I tried to make it better for myself going in, like, this is going to be the worst pain I've ever felt in my life, And it was.
It was?
It was.
Like, he's like, "Close your eyes." And I was like, "Okay." And I was like probably 6 or 7 out of the 20. I say there was about 20 people did it today. But they had a bigger group yesterday, and we heard them screaming. But today, none of us screamed. We actually took it pretty well.
I'm proud of you.
But he's like, "Close your eyes." I closed them. He sprayed. Then he fucking sprayed water on my face to make sure it got everywhere. And he's like, so I opened. Then you had to go over to a guy holding some pads. You had to throw some elbows. You had to go to another one, throw some knees. Then you go to 2 people. One of them has a gun. You tell them to drop the weapon. And then after all that, you finally get to put some water and baby shampoo on your face. No, it sucked. I mean, it hurt for 15, 20 minutes. Well, actually, it kind of reacted throughout the day, so probably longer than that. But the pain never goes down to about 5-6 minutes after. Then you start to ease off. But yeah, that 5 or 6 minutes is rough.
Jesus. Matt Riddle wants to know if it's a women's prison like Orange is the New Black. And Matt Rambo says, "What's up, you guys?" It's the Matts. These 2 Matts pop up on like all our SmackDowns.
Right.
No, all male prison. 630 inmates.
630 inmates. Goodness gracious.
It's a new prison. Nobody's even at the prison yet.
Yeah, my pops just retired from being a corrections officer. He worked at Lebanon Correctional here in Southern Ohio. He worked there for 25 years.
Good.
Yeah, I was trying to plan on making it because, it's a new prison. We're all going to kind of have opportunities to move up kind of quick. So I'm pretty excited. The suckiest part today was honestly, well, not the suckiest, but it sucked when I got home too to get it off my face and my hair. Like it just reacted the whole damn thing. So that was fun.
All right. Hey, you guys, really quick, let's go ahead and get this not out of the way. I'm actually happy to do it. But we've recently been working hand in hand with Synergy Pro Wrestling. We went ahead and sponsored their cinematic match at their last event. You can actually find it on YouTube. I highly recommend you go watch it. It's it's called The Frightmare on Pratt Street. But Synergy sent us this little audio ad hyping up their next show. We honestly, here at the show, we support them 100%. You guys need to check it out. So let's go ahead and give this a quick listen to while I chat with you guys in the chat. And sorry, RN and Sebastian, you guys are just going to sit in silence for a minute.
The summer of Synergy continues with the Garden State Invitational Tournament, live on Fight TV Saturday, July the 25th. M-Dog Matt Cross, Gary J, Myron Reed, Jordan Oliver, Tony Deppen, Gregory Iron, KTB, and Simon Gotch compete for GSI Supremacy. Plus, Frightmare defends the Synergy Pro Wrestling Championship against Deshaun Pratt, and Ellis Taylor, Casey Catal, and TJ Crawford collide to find out who will wear the Cruiserweight crown. All on Fight TV, streaming live around the world. Saturday, July the 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern. All this for just $9.99. Who will win the second annual GSI? Tune in live and find out. For more information, log on to synergywrestling.com.
Sick, man. The event's only going to be $9.99, you guys. I highly recommend you get it. On a side note, because Synergy kind of like botched our advertisement on the last show, they agreed to go ahead and give us another shout out on this show. So that was really kind of them, dude. We really appreciate it, you guys. Shit, we're here to talk about SmackDown. What'd you guys think about SmackDown tonight in a nutshell?
That's solid. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't get a disaster last week, but
that's what I was about to say. It was 100 times better than last week.
Yeah. Ritter in the chat is asking, RN, why are you wearing a shirt with Sebastian's picture on it?
wait. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I'm all right with it.
All right, man. The top of the head, I could actually see the resemblance, man. You said it was 100 times better than last week, man. They didn't have a... Well, I mean, the competition, if you face it.
I shouldn't have even brought up last week.
No, I mean, if you just held a show this week that did not feature karaoke, you were already doing better.
Well, it's still kind of featured that they show the replay.
Yeah. I liked it, man. You had a incredible main event match between
Facts.
Between Riddle and AJ Styles. There's some character development with Nikki Cross. That's nice to see a little bit of difference in her. In my opinion, I am beyond excited to talk about Braun Strowman this week, and I never thought I would say that. I can't wait to hear if he won over RN. We'll get to that one on the show.
Every time he's brought up, I kind of like look at Arian's face to see what happens.
RN's the benchmark. But man, I liked it, man. In the chat, Jay's like, I hate that they're pairing Corbin with. We'll talk about it, but I hear you, man. Corbin's always, he's like the benchmark or the.
That's what I was about to say. Corbin's like, he's like British Strong, not British Strong. He's like Orny Lorcan and Danny Burch. He's like, as soon as you come up, your test of toughness is you got to take on Corbin in your first real feud. That's par for the course.
We'll get.
He's pretty much Dolph from 2 years ago. Remember, he had Rude and Nakamura, and I think somebody else like back to back to back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just taking on every newcomer. What y'all think of this opening match and the whole thing surrounding it? Cesaro taking on a Big E, and for the rights to name the stipulation to Extreme Rules, as if it wasn't extremely obvious for the last 2 weeks that yours truly has been calling the whole time. What y'all think?
Yeah, I kind of wish they would like for a curveball and said steel cage just because of that. But I mean, I was glad they got time. They got a good 12 to 14 minutes, I'd say, something like that. They got good time, good match. Wasn't a big fan of the finish, but
No.
yeah.
I actually missed probably about the first half hour, so I didn't even get to see this match.
I'll fill you in, RN. For one, I will say this. SmackDown opened up with a cool, unique, like, hype package for the entire show. Like, it was just how SmackDown opened up tonight was really, really cool. I advise you to go back and watch it because they hyped up the entire show from the opening package, and it really set an awesome tone. But
it was something that you'd see in 95, 96, somewhere around there, where it would just go to, like, whoever's going to be featured on the show, 10 to 12 people, whatever, and they just drop a promo.
Promo, background music, narrator. It was really cool and unique. Like, it was really well done. It was. It was almost like, listen, you guys, we have to be the cool show again. After last week, we're a laughing stock. We got to do something to make us, like, likable. And it worked, man. It really did. The match with Cesaro and Big E, I felt predictable. Honestly, my favorite part was Big E and Kofi Kingston pelting, Corey Graves with their jackets. Like, I could have cared less about the match. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I enjoyed the match.
It was all right, but it was, like I said, it's something that I've seen a mile away, and when I feel like the match is a foregone conclusion, it naturally takes me out of it. It really does. When you got no stakes.
I get that, but WWE, they only give like 2 out of 10 matches where you don't know who's going to win. So I've been able to, like, just enjoy the match quality more than anything.
And they had to have at least one tables match anyway. I mean, it's extreme rules.
So this is my issue.
Hey, don't do that finger thing. They're taking a man's eyeball. It's extreme.
Allegedly.
Hey. This is the most extreme it's ever been, all right?
I'm telling you, he ain't lying. The match was a fairly straightforward match. Cesaro picked up the win after interference with Nakamura on the outside allowed Cesaro to hit the neutralizer for the pin. The guys later on, well, not later on, like just like a segment or two later, are backstage, and they announce that they're doing a table match in the corniest fucking way possible. They cut a promo why it can't be a steel cage match, and then I think why it can't be another one, and then they just like both like in unison just like yell out, "It's a table match." But it was corny as fuck. But
Bruce Pritchard at his finest.
I'm telling you, no, this is what pisses me off, man. I miss the days when a tag team table match was you put the whole team through the table. So if you just have
Tornado.
two tag teams, that allows you to have potentially 3 table spots. That's a badass match right there. But nowadays, it is the neutered version. It's just either member, like the first person to go through a table loses it for their team. And I fucking hate that, man. Because I think you should have multiple table spots to kind of just build upon each other for the final large one. Instead of just one table spot, it's over. It's kind of like a limp finish for me when it comes to table matches. I absolutely hate them.
Well, part of that is that they've literally castrated Extreme Rules. There's nothing extreme fucking about it. There's nothing been extreme about it since its inception. Like, the best thing about Extreme Rules is on SmackDown versus Raw, where they had the little wheel where you could pick which weapon you were going to pull from under the ring.
I remember that.
On the game. That's literally the best thing that Extreme, like, this shit is ass. Like, they should have just had it, let it be its own pay-per-view, the horror show, whatever, because there is nothing extreme about Extreme Rules ever. Like, it pisses me off because I love ECW so much, and that's where it came from. But even their watered down ECW, like, none of it has ever been extreme. Like, it's a wasted name, and 13 other names on top of it. Extreme Rules, Funhouse, Swamp Match, iMatch. Like, come on, bro. Like, just name it the horror show and call it a day.
Yeah. I will say this. I will give WWE this. This pay-per-view strikes me as different, I guess. Like, I am looking forward to this pay-per-view more than probably the last 5 years of Extreme Rules pay-per-views. Especially the god-awful one where they had the stairs match between Mark Henry and the Big Show. And they had to list off the fucking stats of the steel stairs. That was hot garbage. This one's cool. I mean, this one, look, you got a cinematic match between Bray and Braun in the swamp. That I honestly believe that's going to be a killer fucking match. I thought
last year's Extreme Rules was pretty good.
What was last year's one?
Start off with Taker Roman versus Drew Shane.
Oh yeah, no, that match did deliver. That's like the best Taker match in front of an audience like he's had in 6 years.
They had Corbin. In today's Becky, we had Brock's cash in. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but none of these things were. What was extreme? Like, I'm not arguing that they haven't had good matches and that good things haven't happened at them. But I mean, if you're gonna call something extreme rules, when the hell is it ever gonna be anything extreme that happens?
Yeah, I get that. I think it was like 2010. They spread it out though. There was a last man standing match. I remember Cody Rhodes and I want to say Rey Mysterio was fighting in the damn merchandise area. They had.
Yeah.
So that year they delivered on that as far as variety goes. I remember that. But yeah, for the most part, they've kind of under delivered on them.
Yeah.
Which I know it's not
like PG, like.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Kids toy aisle version of a pay-per-view.
Right, which that's why like I don't hold it too much against them because they are PG and you can't fucking have people busting people in the head with chairs and splitting people open and shit like the original ECW. I give them that, but I mean like something, like give me something, like more tables matches, even throw a TLC match in there or Money in the Bank impromptu match, like something, like give me something.
Or rip somebody's eyeball out.
Or rip somebody's eyeball out, man. That's awesome.
Which is not gonna happen.
No, that's the rule.
Yeah. Moving on, man. We get a quick little interview. Corbin picks AJ Styles to win the Intercontinental Championship later in the evening. He believes that Riddle's coming in too young, too cocky. So Corbin.
There's some real life to that too, apparently.
Yeah. They said like Corbin didn't want to go straight into a feud with Riddle. He said Riddle needs to squash some low card guys and whatever, some jobbers or something.
Fuck off, Corbin.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Bro, like he's ass. Like what this all boils down to with people's hate on Riddles. They were mad that he came at Brock and Goldberg like that. Didn't give two fucks about who he called out. It's called professional wrestling. Everyone was doing it. Fuck off. And I'd much rather see Riddle than Corbin any fucking day. And who is Corbin? He's a jobber. Get the fuck out of here. He's literally everyone's whipping boy. When's the last time that motherfucker won a match?
It has been a minute, man. It has been a minute.
Yeah.
He's won a few to beat Roman.
Which out of the 35 matches that they had?
He won a couple, I think.
Anyways.
He had help, but
We get a what was this? A moment of bliss segment here. This was my low light for the evening. It is what it is. Bliss makes a couple bold statements. She believes the LA Lakers are going to win the NBA championship this year. I'm going to ask you guys because I don't watch basketball.
That's not a bold statement at all.
That's not a bold statement at all?
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right. Hey, man.
Got 2 top 10 players in the league on their team. That's not.
I need to get some guards though. The guards either didn't come or got hurt. So that.
She believes Matt Riddle's going to win his match, and then she believes Braun will win the Swamp match. She teases this guest. They end up going over like the women's revolution because I guess it's been 5 years since Stephanie introduced everybody like Charlotte and Becky and all them for the Divas Revolution. Dude, the women just come out and give us Evolution too, please.
Facts.
Come on, man. Evolution was a surprise hit, and not because it was like an all-women's pay-per-view. It's just because pay-per-views are typically hover around that D and C grade all year long, and Women's Evolution in just a pay-per-view as a whole was a great fucking show, man. It was a smash hit. It baffles me. It really baffles me why they haven't done it yet. Because the only thing I can think of is the reason why we haven't got one was because its inception had nothing to do with creating a women's pay-per-view. It was to get your PR back because you were doing a fucking Saudi show that didn't allow women. And now
exactly what it was.
You get one women's match on a Saudi show, so there's no need for an all-women's pay-per-view anymore, which is it's fucking stupid, man.
Everything the WWE does is either to save face or has an ulterior motive. They don't do anything. They never get in front of anything. They never try and fucking be innovative or be progressive or try and push anything forward. They're always reacting. It's literally WWE's the Trump of of the wrestling business. They say whatever they want and pretend like they're really about some shit. When at the bottom line of it, not so much.
Yeah.
Let somebody get accused of sexual harassment or misconduct, then we'll get an evolution too.
There we go.
Book it.
Do your part,
Book it.
guys.
Book it.
Yeah, so Alexa Bliss is teasing this mystery guest. Nikki Cross is hilarious. She thinks it's her. She gets all excited. Eventually, Alexa talks her down. It's like, no, it ain't you. Before Alexa can introduce who it is, we get Bayley and Sasha coming out because, they're on every week, which I'm still not complaining about. They're fucking awesome. And it turns out the special guest was actually Asuka all along. Big brawl ensues. And it gets us a tag match with Asuka and Nikki Cross, who surprisingly have great chemistry as a tag team, taking on Bayley and Sasha. And they ended up having a pretty damn fun match.
I think a lot of their chemistry was because of how much chemistry they had as opponents, too.
Yo,
I think
that last woman standing match in NXT.
Fire.
Oh, man. You watched that, right, Seb?
Mm-hmm. It was a hell of a match.
It was a fucking crazy match. All I can still remember is that superplex off the ladder through the commentary table. It was a superplex, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
My thing is like what I've been noticing and stuff. Like I wanted to see what you guys think. Like, what's the difference between what Sasha and Bayley are doing and what they were doing with Charlotte? Why did Charlotte get so much heat, and Bayley and Sasha are praised for it?
That's simple. It's Ric Flair's daughter, so people are gonna bitch about it.
That's what I've always thought about it, but it's just funny how really they're on more shows than she is. They're on literally every single show. At least she would take some weeks off where she wasn't on all three, but they have been on every single show.
I will
Charlotte's
say this. I find their dynamic genuinely more entertaining. Like that's all it comes down to for me. Charlotte feels like she delivers the same song and dance every week. And granted, having Sasha and Bayley on 2 to 3 shows every week, you're gonna get some repeat segments and cadence and stuff. But like, I genuinely find them funnier. I could listen to Bayley fucking all day long with her trash talk. Where Charlotte, it's just personal taste on my end. That's all.
That's fair. I mean, that's just different roles, though. Charlotte's role is to make you kind of pissed off. She rubs in your face.
Right.
So,
Plus, Charlotte has that John Cena complex. The John Cena, the Hulk Hogan, the whole you come out, regardless if you look at her record, like what it really stands at. Charlotte really strikes you as like, okay, she's going to beat anybody you put her against. And I understand she's eaten some L's lately, but she still has that feeling like she's going to come out and win. It's weird, too, because like, wasn't it last year or maybe this year? For like the first 6 or 7 months, Charlotte had lost like almost every fucking match.
That was the start of this year, I'm pretty sure. It was either start of this year or towards the back end of last year.
But I remember she went on like a really long fucking losing streak. But yet still, like I said, strikes you as like this John Cena thing. It's really odd, man. I need someone to explain.
To me, it's the Tom Brady effect. It's the greatness thing. Like, the more you accomplish, the more people hate you.
Yeah.
Because me personally, like, I love Sasha and Bayley, especially Sasha. Vince has definitely got me on train with the Sasha Stan shit. Like, I'm definitely here for it. But to me, I know every time that Charlotte's in the ring, it's going to be a dope-ass match. Every single time.
Unless it's against Lacey Evans, because that sucked ass. But
yeah, but that was more Lacey Evans. Shout out to Rob than it was Charlotte.
We missed you, Rob.
But
oh man. Yeah, the match was okay. My favorite part of the match was fucking Nikki Cross and Asuka dancing on the commentary table together. Just looking like two drunk chicks with no rhythm.
My thing is, like, I want them to do something with Nikki. Like, I feel like she has this, like, this kind of, like, Mick Foley vibe to her, like where you could do some different things with her character and shit and everything. Like, I would love to see her, like, go back to that Lose It Nikki, not this funny one that's crazy, but the actual, like, fucked up crazy one from NXT, bro. Like, I feel like there's something there that if they really took advantage of it, she could be a dope heel for them and then eventually blossom in to a monster as babyface like Mick Foley if they played it right.
I told you how I booked that, right? Like my whole theory, because I said I was like Nikki Cross definitely has like the potential for the faces of Foley, and the catalyst is Alexa Bliss. because she cut a promo how Alexa Bliss gave her confidence and to be her kooky self and stuff. You eliminate Alexa Bliss from the matter, and you have her go back into like the Mankind-esque version of Mick Foley, the crazy, unhinged Nikki Cross. So yeah,
remember we talked about that. I wanted it to start with Shayna.
Yeah, I
have them have
agree with you.
Let them beat the shit out of each other for 3 or 4 pay-per-views and end it at Hell in a Cell.
Nikki just strikes me as like it's hard to get her a big win. Like,
yeah,
it's damn near impossible to get her over that finish line. Like you can get her in some awesome feuds and give her plenty of TV time, but it feels like she's always putting over whoever she's in there against.
Well, she's also a victim of her own success because she's normally putting over Charlotte, Sasha, or Bayley. I mean,
there's one. The other.
Which that's not a terrible thing. I mean, you're losing to the top 3 females in the company, maybe in the fucking world. Yeah. So it's not too terrible, but I mean, I definitely get what you're saying.
What do you think, Seb?
No, I agree. I mean, watching this match, I actually thought about Nikki and how a mid-card title for the women could help people in her position, but at the same time, they just ain't got space for it. There's too many titles. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, when you have 4 or 5 women as talented as the 4 horsewomen plus Asuka, you can throw her in that conversation. It's hard to find these big wins for these lower second group women. So yeah, it's just a tough spot for not just Nikki. I mean, there's a few women that's kind of in that little bubble. You could say the same thing.
I think the women need a secondary title, to be honest.
It's just they got so many titles. I don't know how they can fit it.
If you're going to do that, you got to start unifying the tag belts, and I agree with you. I just think I was like, I say like unify the world championship belt.
No, well, if there's not a brand split, but
that's true.
No, I'm saying with the brand split, it doesn't matter for the women because there's only one set of titles anyway for both shows. But if you had a secondary title, then that way some of these women that are never on fucking TV because you only have enough room for 2 matches and one of them are the title program, then that way you get to squeeze another women's match and another women program on there. It's a win-win. So some of those lower people, like you said, like Nikki and them, who are never going to fucking beat Asuka or anybody like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say unify the men's tag titles and unify the women's championship belt. Unify the women's championship belt, unify the men's tag belts, and then I think that would free up the room for women's secondary title, in my opinion.
I wouldn't unify the women's world belts. I'd leave them. No, because I mean that's your whole thing is keeping if you're going to keep the show separate, then you should have one women's champion and one men's champion on both shows. And if anything, I'd unify the Universal and the Intercontinental title and let that person be the Intercontinental champion and go back and forth to different shows because that's supposed to be your workhorse belt anyway.
Hey, how about this? Have Nikki Cross take that 24/7 title off of R-Truth and then just start defending that on all brands.
I honestly forgot about that one. I don't even count that. Like it's
man. Use the 24/7 title. Use that one.
How can you not remember the 7-3 Ninja?
Because that shit is so like past me. Like I love R-Truth.
Oh,
I love R-Truth, but that shit is just so like, all right, it's fun while it lasted.
Well, back to the match. It comes down to this miscue, but it was really well done. So Bayley was trying to crawl to Sasha to get a tag at the end of the match. Well, Asuka was on the outside, and Sasha abandoned the tag to attack Asuka. So this kind of lets you think that I was like, okay, Nikki's going to pick up this win, but instead Bayley was able to roll up Nikki, get her feet on the ropes, and still secure the victory, which I thought was neat. I thought it was neat to see a tag team make an error, but still have Bayley be a champion and find a way to win. So I like
facts. I hate the roll up that they've done 3 weeks in a row, but besides that, like you're right, it was a dope setup.
They do roll ups matches in a row. They do it multiple times in a row.
Bayley's the master of the ropes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, there you go. I like that. We get this. It was advertised as a Firefly Funhouse segment, but it did turn into the classic cult leader Bray Wyatt promo, talking about bringing Braun back to the swamp, bringing him home. Bray's bestowed this gift of Braun being a monster, and Bray intends on like taking that gift back or unleashing it. It was good. I mean, I'm really fucking stoked for this match, but I'm not gonna lie. In our end, we can go to war over here. But what followed it was Braun's promo, which, by the way, Miz and Morrison throughout the night were having these hilarious back and forths of Miz trying to hype Morrison up for his match against Braun, and Morrison's absolutely terrified. They were genuinely funny, but before the match starts between Braun and Morrison, Braun came out and delivered this crazy fucking promo, dude, and I was genuinely terrified of Braun at that point, man. What was your issue with this? What was your issue?
It's just more the yelling shit. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I understood the content of it and I got what he was saying, but like he just came out and started yelling at Miz and them like they were the ones that cut the promo. I'm like, and they were looking at each other like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, we didn't say anything.
His delivery was so intense, but he was terrified. Like, I even quoted some of the shit he was saying. Like, he says, "I'm ready and willing to walk through the gates of hell and slap the devil himself in the face. I have to go home before he ends me." Braun, his whole thing was he needs to end Bray now because Bray is in this. He recognizes Bray's going through a transformation leading to the Fiend. Braun needs to put him down before the Fiend comes out. Like, that was in his promo. He's like, this is the last stop before I end up facing the Fiend. And Braun, you could tell, wants no part of the fucking Fiend, man. I thought that was clever to show Braun actually in fear. And that's how I took his promo, because he was shouting and he was running a mile a minute, but the dude looked as intense as he looked equally fucking terrified. And
he was like he was hopped up on PCP. That's almost.
I mean, hey, listen, and that's would you want a fucking Braun Strowman hopped up? That's terrifying, bro.
I don't know. I guess all of this to me is just like, is Bray Wyatt going to be the new Undertaker, or is he going to be the new Mick Foley? Give me, you know what I'm saying?
There's not going to be another Undertaker. I think people just need to get over that one.
Yeah.
But I enjoy the Foley stuff that they got going on. Now, I enjoyed the promo. I actually didn't even mind them yelling. I wish he would have slowed it down a bit, because he was going a mile a minute. I could see how you kind of got, he was terrified. He knows the Fiend ain't in him. The way I viewed it was he thinks he might be able to beat the Fiend, but as much as that goes, he thinks that the Fiend can destroy him as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, everybody knows you can beat Bray Wyatt at a pay-per-view.
Well, unless you're Goldberg. Never mind. I'm not even going to say that.
No, I didn't say the Fiend. I said Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's like 0 for 1997 at pay-per-view.
I didn't even know this. Didn't pick it up. But apparently this match is non-title, so I think Bray's going to get a win. That's the only reason it'd be non-title, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Hey, man. I don't know. After Braun, at that point, dude, Miz selling like the fear was fucking so.
Morrison too. Morrison legit looked scared as hell,
dude. I bet they legitimately were. Was like, oh man, Braun's worked up. Like, not like he's lost himself in character, but like Braun has to carry that intensity into the match now. You know what I mean? He's not going to come into the match and start doing the whole like run around the ring bullshit. Like, he's going to come like 100 miles an hour, and that's what happened, dude. He completely just destroyed Morrison. And I saw people pissing and moaning. Morrison just had this killer match with Riddle, and then he's jobbing to Strowman. Nah, man, I think it was the right call. Strowman had to come out and sacrifice somebody that actually is a threat. You know what I mean?
Which I don't mind that either, because he's the world champ. Like, it'd be different if you just jobbed out to like Gulak or somebody that hasn't really done anything, that's like not done much. But I mean, jobbing to the world champ. I mean, it's supposed to be a dominant heel monster world champ. Like, I don't think it hurt Morrison much.
That clothesline looked rough though.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
He was supposed to do that whole fucking flip thing, and he just ate it.
Look, shit, that's probably what hurt his neck more than anything that he did in the match. Shit.
And they did a hell of a job selling it after too. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
This is the Braun that I wish that we would always get. Like, I hate this like dancing bear shit that they've been doing with him for the past 2 years. Like, if you give me this, I can take the screaming and the yelling and the terrible promos. If you give me this,
corner, Braun just like
the just comes in and beats the living shit out of everybody. And I wish you would go back to that choke. I wish it hadn't been Edge that brought it back. But if you give me
triangle choke,
yeah, the triangle. If you give me crazy Braun just like annihilating people and then choking you the hell out, then doing his finisher to you, I could lay off and get behind him being a heel. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a heel, just being a big man champion. I could get behind that. But
you can definitely tell he's been working on his promos.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's getting better. But again, slow down, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he did good after the match, like just teasing this whole he's losing himself thing.
Yeah.
And that's good. I mean, that helps out Bray too, who's obviously been actually quite absent during this whole thing. Braun, if you think about it, Braun's had to carry this feud all the way into this pay-per-view.
He was even showing out there in the match too. If you remember him taking his boot and just like, pretty much annihilating Morrison's face during the match. He's doing some hellish stuff. I mean,
and that still holds true to Bray's character, man. Where it's like, man, you go up against Bray and ultimately the Fiend, you come out different. And I think that the way I'm interpreting it is Braun recognizes that. Is like, if it comes down to the Fiend, if I make it to the Fiend, I'm gone for. Like this version of me is done, and he's probably terrified what's going to happen. At least that's how I take it, man. And if that
me too. And if that's what I was gonna say, if we come out of this with heel Braun and get this Braun that we saw tonight moving forward, I'll jump on that bandwagon.
Hell yeah,
I can jump on that.
There's plenty of room for you, man. Lacey Evans comes out before Morrison can make it back to backstage from his injury. So it's official, huh? That karaoke segment was just to turn Lacey heel. What a fucking payoff that was, man.
And it's real talk. Like, I love heel Lacey. Like, I think that she's perfect as a heel, but she's been a face for 5-6 months, and you turn her because she lost a fucking karaoke match.
It's been a little longer than that. It's been about 8 months or so.
That's what I'm saying. I know it's been a long time, but I'm saying like
SmackDown where Roman got the dog food poured on him. I was live in attendance. That's when she came out to the crowd and referenced her military past like 6 times to drive it home.
Because she had the title match against Bayley at the Rumble.
Yeah.
So it's about a month.
Yeah.
No, it was last year. Like literally last year I saw her turn face. Yeah.
Thanks, Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah, wow. What an awesome payoff. I did did like how she picked up the match is a non-match. The one she had with Naomi. Yeah. She ended up tying Naomi's hair to the ring ropes. And
that was fire.
Yeah, and then as Naomi untied her hair, she got caught with the women's right laid out. Boom, just like that.
So is Naomi just a jobber now? Like, is that her role now?
I mean, it's kind of always been her role. They gave her a championship belt because they were going to Tampa, Florida, where she's from, and for WrestleMania. But outside of that, she's just I hate to say it, man. I love Naomi, but that's her role, man. That's her role on SmackDown, bro.
So ass, bro. So ass.
Man. It's true though. It's fucking true. I feel bad. I love Naomi, dude. I think she's got one of the most fire entrances, and she's super athletic and charismatic. But yeah, they don't know how to do what to do with her character, man.
Let's just call a spade a spade. They don't know how to do anything with any African American characters. They just don't. They don't have a handle on it.
They're handling Bianca Belair good.
But she's never on TV to see if they're handling her good. She's still essentially her NXT character. They haven't given her the Raw fix up yet. Well, let's see how it goes a couple months down the line.
MVP and Lashley's done well.
But they're established characters that have been those same characters everywhere they've ever been.
Well, kind of, yeah. But MVP's, went on this role as a manager. That's not the same role. He's doing different things.
But that's what I'm saying. He's not in a main champion, or he's not in a main role. He's just being MVP who he is, and he's a manager. I'm saying your top African American stars. New Day doesn't really count anymore, but they didn't know what to do with Kofi, and that run went stale because they didn't know how to prop up and how to have him be a champion. And eventually, everybody was like, "Well, this sucks," and he lost to Brock Lesnar, and what, 30 seconds?
8.
I was generous. My bad.
No, it was.
It is 8. Yeah.
Kofi, why'd you jump on his shoulders? That's the one place you want to avoid. Like, why
Facts.
did you jump into the air, man?
Sometimes being athletic kills you.
Yeah.
Don't
I
jump.
just think there's no taxation without representation. Like they need to get some young African American, somebody in the writers' room that can help them, because having a bunch of 20-year-old white guys trying to tell black guys how to act and how to do promos, like it never works out. It never works out.
Hey, look, man, I'm not gonna sit here and disagree with you. Yeah, I really ain't. I have never had the foresight to look into it that heavy. You know, I'm just like a 30-year-old white guy watching wrestling. Shit, you know, I just don't see it until other people bring it up. I feel bad. But I ain't gonna lie to you though. I'm not gonna lie. Blame it on creative. Blame it on whoever. Naomi has always struck me as like a rung down from Natalya. Honestly, as far as being
I agree with
on
that.
the mic, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I love her entrance, but the moment she gets on the mic, it's not.
It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel
sound
natural.
No, and that's always been my thing with Naomi.
That's a lot. I feel like that's a thing for a lot of people that fans are always like, oh, they don't deserve this or whatever. I always feel like, you know, for us people, I feel like the promos bring them back. I don't know if I'm the only one that see that or what.
Dude,
but
look at Miz on Talking Smack. Look at Miz on Talking Smack. He came out and he cut that promo on Daniel Bryan, and all of a sudden, dude, his freaking stock went way
yeah,
up.
I mean that's the thing.
A
with
badass
WWE.
promo can save you, like can undo months, if not years, of fucking
But all these promos that you're talking about, though, these are things that are not necessarily off script, but it was more so the talent taking control of what they were saying and not having somebody hand them something.
Exactly. No, and that's exactly it. If you're stuck in a rut, man, and you're having a hard time with public opinion and everything, dude, go out there and be genuine and kill it. Like fucking.
And that at this point with all of it, like there's another promotion now that'll scoop your ass up in a heartbeat. I don't understand why more talents don't go out and just take the chance. What's the most you're gonna do? Take you off TV? Well, 90% of y'all aren't on TV to begin with anyway.
That's right, man.
So what is it like? And he told y'all grab the brass ring. So you can take whatever they give you, but you don't have to say it when you go out there. I mean,
just go into business for yourself. That's the new thing.
get their bullet points out the way and keep it moving, bro.
Yeah.
Cut the mic.
Speaking of keeping it moving, this whole Jeff Hardy Sheamus shit just needs to keep moving and get done with.
You're finally on my side on this.
Yeah, I'll talk it through and I'll let you do it because this is really a non-segment for me. Just Jeff Hardy's being interviewed backstage about why he would accept the barroom brawl, and he's like, you know, it's facing addiction. You don't run from it, so he's gonna go through with it. And then he's just blindsided by Sheamus, who I guess reveals that this match is actually slated for SmackDown. So a similar tactic they're doing over on Raw, taking that big profile match between Big Show and Randy Orton, putting it on Raw, I'm assuming to try and generate ratings. I guess maybe that's what this is having a blow off to a big angle on SmackDown to try and help with the ratings. That's how I take it. But,
They've been last couple of months. They've been saving some stuff for the post pay-per-view weekly shows. If you notice, before, I mean, if you remember Otis and Dolph, their feud, it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome. And so they've been saving some stuff just for the weekly TV, and I kind of enjoy that because people are always playing a bitch, and you know, why should I tune in every week? Well, they're giving you, you know, 2 or 3 bullet things to tune in for.
Yeah, I'm not mad either because most of these shows, some of these matches would have been on the pre-show anyway. So like, why not save it for a weekly show?
Not only that, it saves up more free time, or saves up more time for the other matches, and it makes the pay-per-view shorter instead of having these 12, 13 match pay-per-views. You got an 8-match pay-per-view, and it ends up being 2.5 hours, and I'm going to bed at 10:30 or you know, whatever. So
I'm not mad at it because, like, if you think about when we were kids with Raw and Nitro, they always had big matches on there. At least once a month, they had a big match that should have been on a pay-per-view. Should have been a pay-per-view main event. They had it on one of the shows. Like, Like I'm not like if you want me to watch something 365 every year, sometimes give me something on something that's not a pay-per-view. So like when they said it, I was like, all right, I'm down with that. A little SmackDown action, get a little barroom brawl. I'm with that.
But I think we all agree we're ready for this shit to end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After Bar, I do want to see Jeff get that win. I think if they are gonna like go all in with this is the perfect match to finally shut Sheamus up. And
if Jeff loses, that is going to be Jeff's out the door. Jeff's gone to AEW. Like,
I'm in on it. Yeah. I'm in for the Jeff loss.
And honestly, I believe it too. There's no other reason why he would lose.
Bro, that kick though. Like they were like zoomed into Jeff's face.
Yeah.
That fucking kick, that was that cowboy boot took his face off, bro. That was
yeah, dude, that looked painful.
That was a bro kick.
That fucking looked painful, bro. Oh man. I like this. Hey, remember we were talking over on Raw, I think. RN about how they were shooting an interview and then immediately went into like another interview in like the same shot. Yeah. So I like they did kind of something similar here, even though it wasn't the same shot. Kayla Braxton was backstage, interviewed Bayley and Sasha, who are just exuberating confidence going into their title matches at Extreme Rules. And then following that, it cuts away to a private and it ends with them laughing. That's important because then it cuts away to Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, and I like that Nikki Cross is having a crisis of confidence here. Mm-hmm. She's worried she's not going to get the win, all of this stuff. But then after the whole little talking segment goes, you can hear what sounds to be the same laugh we just heard in the previous interview.
Fire
by Bayley and Sasha Banks, which catches Nikki Cross's attention, and she runs and attacks him. If that's how it was, like you cut to a promo and then you go back in time, like 30 seconds, and just film other people what they were doing, and it's like two angles, I thought that was really neat. I thought it's little things, man.
Yeah, this was probably one of the dopest promos on SmackDown as far as I can remember. Like that, like you said, just that little small like rewind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that meant it made that everything. Like if you just did those separately, they are what they are. Another fucking run of the mill Sasha Bayley promo, and same thing with Nikki and Alexa, like crying in the back shit. But just that little thing, bro, like that shit was dope.
I don't know if they rewound time on live television.
I don't.
But that's
you know what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Sebastian's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure they laughed like 10 seconds later and they just happened to be nearby. But no, it was good. It was pretty good. I liked it. I liked to see Nikki like kind of dive back into her crazy world. So
yeah. I would. Bayley was like, "Get your dog off of me!" Like,
stupid.
I wouldn't mind them doing some more like Lucha Underground shit where they make it more like a show like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like a dramatic show. Like make it different than Raw.
You can literally kill someone off.
Literally.
We're scraping the grounds with this whole like extracting somebody's eyeball.
Hey, I mean, Impact's killed people off. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. They killed Vince McMahon once.
Like murder Jeff Hardy. In one of those matches, he took like it was in one of the Broken Universe matches. He took like
I wasn't watching TNN, and I don't know.
I just watched the match because I got into the Broken shit.
I think C Young or I can't remember her name. It was while I was barely watching Impact, but I remember seeing a edited thing where she like hung somebody or something. It was out there. It was out there.
And then last up was the great match we got between AJ Styles and Matt Riddle. Boy, these two, man, have got chemistry. I could watch a best of 7. Too bad we're not going to get it. These guys just had a back and forth. I mean, this was match of the night. If you missed SmackDown and you're going to watch one match, watch this one, obviously.
It's like AJ Styles is good for that or something. I don't know.
You know, who knows, man?
It's like Matt Riddle is too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AJ's
been killing it though. Like ever since he's been on the SmackDown for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been
But,
killing it.
I mean, but my guy Matt too, he hasn't had a bad match in ever, and his last match out of NXT was fire too.
I saw Chris Dees. I forget who he's writing for now. He used to be on Wrestling News World, and he's writing for someone else. I gotta remember. But he was online, and he took to online saying it's his third match, and he's already got rolled up and lost clean. This was a bad loss to AJ Styles.
Oh, my back.
He said what?
Listen, that's stupid. Like he lost to a 3-time WWE champion, whatever. Like he's a Grand Slam champ, just missing tag. It ain't like he went out there and lost to Ricochet.
Yeah,
he's lost to not just WWE Hall of Famer, an all-time Hall of Fame guy.
Yeah,
by roll up, and I'm pretty sure he even had some of the trunks in there. Like, I don't know. People look way too much into losses like that. Like, there's more context than, hey, he got beat.
Right.
And that
Very
just pisses
short-sightedness by people.
and don't get me wrong, I'm one of those people too that I feel like losses matter to a certain extent, but like I just said about Morrison losing to Braun, you're losing to like you said, one of the greatest wrestlers of all fucking time, the current Intercontinental Champion, and literally the man that put SmackDown back on the map twice now, pretty much. So this isn't a bad, and AJ shaking his hand after giving him respect and stuff like this was better than the win, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't know, but people just surprise me with those takes at times. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. They feel like everybody, like every hot new star, needs to come up and have this is a little bit of an exaggeration, but like a Goldberg undefeated run.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, man, careers are made on wins and losses. Like, losses are part of the story. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's okay to lose.
And go ahead.
No, I was just saying, given the context, that was it.
Yeah, context. And I don't understand why he put so much emphasis, because I'm pretty sure I saw the same post and I shook my head. I don't understand why he put so much emphasis on a roll-up. Would you rather AJ Styles knock him out and pin him clean?
Right.
It was in the middle of a scramble. They were exchanging reversals and submission moves. It was in the middle of a technical scramble. That's even nice.
And even with that, like, losses don't mean shit in WWE. Like, they just don't. They make that very clear. Everyone it's 50. It's you get one, I get one, you get one, I get one. Blow off. Like the wins and losses literally don't mean a damn thing in the WWE. It's literally, like you said, the context of how did you look in those wins and losses. Because there's lots of people that's probably fucking undefeated on Raw and SmackDown, but do you remember their matches?
Right.
Do you remember what happened in any of those matches, even though they won? No. So like. Don't get me wrong, like I'm one of those wins and losses guys. I am, but like I know that in WWE, especially on Raw and SmackDown, the wins or losses don't mean shit because he's gonna get this win back. It may be a year from now, but he's gonna get that win back. Like,
no, I mean, don't get me wrong. I do believe wins and losses matter, and I believe they should matter. But people don't look at context at all. Like it's. And not even just that, I've seen people complain about Sonny Kiss losing to Cody a few nights ago.
You're like, what the fuck does you mean? Why? Of course he's losing, though.
I mean, so I don't know. He went out there and gave Cody a good 15-minute match and pushed him to where Cody was,
By the way, that was an incredible match.
Incredible fucking match.
That was, dude. I bet that made a lot of fans for Sonny Kiss.
My girlfriend just said that's her new favorite wrestler.
That's what I'm saying.
The words "bad losses," "ruined," and "buried" is the most overused words on wrestling Twitter. It's just stupid.
Yeah. Hey, that's why we have a new show called Unpopular Wrestling Opinions.
Sure.
That's why we got that shit. After the match, AJ Styles uncharacteristically shows a sign of respect, reaches out, shakes Matt Riddle's hand. I'm not sure I like that, man. I like AJ. I want AJ to double down on his heel run. But hey, look, man, AJ, how can you not love AJ anyways? And then immediately following that, Corbin attacks Matt Riddle from behind. The earlier segment was plenty of foreshadowing. So we're going to definitely get a 16-match feud with Baron Corbin and Matt Riddle, which I am not looking forward to.
I actually am.
Really?
But not because I give a shit about Corbin, but I think that it'll be good to see.
Go too long.
That's true too. But what I'm saying is, like, we get to see Matt Riddle versus some guys that aren't 5'10".
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like RN. I actually enjoy Corbin in the ring a lot. I think he's.
No, I do too. I'm just over the character.
How his feuds always turn out. I was about to say way past their expiration.
I was about to say I agree with Kyle in that aspect. As good as he is in the ring, it's hard to make 15 matches against the same person mean something.
Right.
Yeah.
But did you all notice AJ's slot? He looked just like he thought about helping Riddle when Corbin attacked him. I don't know. Maybe because of the handshake too. I noticed, they kind of really subtle on some stuff lately, like plant seeds. And I just wonder if maybe it's AJ, losing his friends now and just trying to change. I don't know. I noticed that. And I was wondering if you all.
Well, my thing is that I don't hate Corbin at all. At one point, I thought Corbin was the best heel in wrestling because he was one of the only heels that actually did heel shit to make you like him. There's no in between with him. Like, he's a shitty person and just wants to be a heel. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part I love about him. But it's like you never get any payoff for anything that he does. Like, even when he's the chicken shit heel running and stuff, like, you never get a payoff for Corbin's work. So it's just like watching the same thing, him being a shitty person, next person, shitty person. Yeah. Like, you never get a payoff with him ever. So my favorite
thing with Corbin was when, like, Roman Reigns and him were feuding, and Roman was like just like the dick jock. Like, he'd be like backstage, he'd like say some shit to Corbin, and they just like punch him in the stomach and walk off scene. Loved that shit. So I didn't mean to cut you off, Aaron. My bad.
No. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just like you feel like, all right, you kind of get behind him being a heel, like, oh, he's fucked up, that's dope, and then like he loses 35 matches. So it's like, I don't get it. At least I know Matt's going to win some matches.
He will. He'll get that world title run. Someone will get injured, and Corbin will step up.
Yeah.
It's actually not.
I wouldn't be too much against it, to be honest.
I wouldn't either.
He won Money in the Bank, right? And he lost because of John Cena.
I think if you line the right guys up against, I think you could have a really good world title run.
You know what it is? Otis will win the world championship this Sunday.
He's not winning that title.
Pinning Braun, and then Corbin will get Otis. I know it won't happen, but that's how you get Corbin to world.
I think that is what's going to happen. I don't think Otis is going to get anytime soon, but I think that whoever the next champion is going to be transition shit, and Corbin will probably be the one to take it. You don't have anybody else left. Yeah,
and you won't have any. Like, Otis would be perfect for that because he's not like too big of an in-ring threat. He's a threat, but I mean, he's believable. Almost anybody on the roster can believably beat him. Whereas, Corbin trumping Bray Wyatt or Braun Strowman is going to be a harder sell.
Right.
Otis won with the belt, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to see Otis and Braun, like, them two just powerhouse each other. I want to see how that goes.
God, I feel like Otis would just get murdered in my head. I really do. I don't know.
Especially if it's Braun that came out tonight.
Yeah.
Up.
But yeah, that was SmackDown. It was pretty good, man. It was for a go-home show. They're usually terrible. So
usually
for a go-home show, that was really good. If you guys are watching this on Saturday, make sure to tune in tonight. I believe. Well, no, because you guys aren't going live. So tune in Sunday, I guess. Whenever. RN here is going to be teaming up with Vince, covering Slammiversary. You guys have already done predictions. If you guys haven't seen that, go check out predictions. Was it pretty much just like a coin flip for everything with you guys? Because we don't really watch Impact.
No, don't put words in my mouth. You guys don't watch Impact. I do.
My fault.
I just don't got the time to watch Impact.
It has nothing to do with the product. It's strictly time.
Normally I don't, but like what I've been doing is like, because I still to this day don't know when the hell it actually comes on. I just been watching it Tuesday. Yeah, I've just been watching it on my lunch breaks, or like had them all playing in the back, watching them as I've been working from home and stuff. And that's how I got caught up.
Yeah, so tune in, watch RN and Vince cover Slammiversary, and then later on Sunday night, we'll be live again. Myself and Kevin Crazy will be covering Extreme Rules, and maybe we'll get a third person in, but at least at the very minimum, it'll be me and Kevin. And then also go back and watch Unpopular Wrestling Opinion. Episode 2 is up with LSG. Fun episode. And then little bit of side note, we just shot episode 4 last night with an all Chicago panel, and it was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I was giddy going to bed. Matt and Benji repeatedly torched Vince time after time. And Vince was a great sport too, though. He didn't take it personally. So that was good, man. It was all good fun. You can catch all our unpopular wrestling opinions. They go up Thursday evenings at 10 p.m. So you can always check out the new episodes then. Or if you're lucky enough to catch us whenever we're shooting them live, you can do that too. Anything else? You guys want to plug anything? I plug everything. You guys want to plug anything?
I'm not gonna think of.
No?
Well, yeah, Mean Jelly Bean Productions. Check us out.
There you go. Oh, Sandwiches and HJs. Matt Rambo in the chat says he can't find the video.
Tell him to add me on Twitter, Matt. At Mr.8984, and I'll send you the link.
Yeah, the Twitter handle's right on the page. Get on Twitter, add him, and he'll send you a link. All right, you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Like always, until next time, you guys have a good one.
See you.
Peace out, guys. I got it. You're out.